So thanks a lot, Matthew Woodward, for joining us on today's podcast called Local SEO Today. So first off, I just want to ask you, so tell me a little bit about yourself, your story, and what brought you to become who you are.
Well, I've been playing online since wow, as long as I can remember. Like I was delivering newspapers to pay for my server, and this was back like 20 years ago. So I've been involved with the web and digital marketing and all those things since before it even had a name. I didn't know you could make money online at that point. It took me a few years to figure that out. We didn't have affiliate programs. We didn't have many things. In fact, we didn't even have YouTube when I started. In fact, we didn't even have Google. So through those years I've seen it all, and I've jumped through the corporate ladder, digital marketing. That sucked. I learned a lot that I couldn't have learned anywhere else, but it's one of the most frustrating times of my life, to say the least. And then I was always building sites on the side, affiliate sites, that kind of thing, and I was having great success there. I was making like stupid money, and I eventually took the leap from the corporate world to building my own affiliate sites, and that kind of got out of hand from there. Now in 2012, I launched the SEO blog as an experiment. Huge success. It's why we're having this conversation today. I've also built a national level agency and various other affiliate sites and projects, mostly rooted in price comparisons and movements of people, without giving my niches away too much. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's literally, it's taken me from delivering newspapers on my bike at 6 a.m. in freezing cold British weather to living in the tropics of Costa Rica. I mean,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I've been on the full journey, So
that's awesome, because I actually started delivering newspapers myself at 9 years old. But my purpose was a little bit different because I had to help support my family. As a new immigrant, we were 4 kids. My parents didn't really work, and we kind of had to do whatever we had to do to support everyone, right? And just so the audience knows, affiliate online marketing is a website where you can monetize, where people will pay, or somehow you're able to make money from a website, either by performance-based, click-based, impression-based. There's a lot of ways to generate revenue.
Yeah, the way I do it is my entire business ethos is concentrated on solving people's problems. The quicker I can connect your problem to a solution, the happier you are, and the quicker I'm going to make some money. So sometimes the right solution to your problem is to buy a product or service, and when you do that, then I'd get a commission from that. And if you look across the blog, there's like 300 different really high level tutorials, and I'd say probably about 40% of those have some kind of affiliate incentive for me. So that's generally how I make money. I'm a digital salesman taking a commission.
No, that's great, because I actually worked at a performance online marketing myself. I was in an affiliate world as well. So I understood it. The challenge was it just wasn't right for me at that time. So I really gravitated towards working with actual business owners and people that I can connect with, right? So again, I know you lived in the UK. So where do you live now, and what brought you to where you are today?
I live in Costa Rica right now on the Pacific coast. I've been here for 6 or 7 years. Baby house, full deal all the way in. In fact, if it wasn't for work, I wouldn't speak English anymore. And how I ended up here was a reader of the blog actually sent me an email saying, thanks for your tutorials, it's been really helpful, they've helped me grow my business. If you ever fancy a beer in Costa Rica, let me know. So a month later, I was in Costa Rica having a beer with the guy. Once I was here, I saw how happy people are without very much. Which is a stark contrast to the UK, where they have everything and they're miserable. And Like just simple things, like you go to the checkout, you buy something, they're asking you how your day is, like, and like they're engaging you in conversation. You do that in the UK, you're probably gonna get stabbed. Like,
Why are you asking so personal questions, right?
so yeah, like it's weird. So the people here have a very positive vibe that I've never felt in any other country. And once I went back to England, I was like a square peg in a round hole, you know, even though I'd spent my entire life growing up there. It's everything that I knew. Just didn't click anymore after
Was
coming.
it difficult to leave all the people that you grew up with, your friends, family, and kind of?
Well, in general, we usually have a lot of acquaintances, but only a handful of people that really matter, right? And those people come over quite regularly. So
Yeah. Well, that's the most important thing. Your circle of friends, right? Your real circle of friends.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
kind of realize who they are when
yeah,
you're away.
yeah, yeah. And most of them work for me as well, so that helps.
Oh, that's awesome. So growing up, was this kind of your passion? Like, was this your dream job, kind of?
I mean, I guess all the other kids were playing soccer, and I was building websites.
So you were really following what you really enjoyed, right? And
Yeah. And my father had taught me from a very young age, find what you love in life and then find a way to make money at it. If you do that, that's a secret. And, you know, there's people out there that are professional yo-yo artists, you know, like, so if you can make a full-time living with a yo-yo, well, you can do whatever you want. And especially in 2019, I
oh
mean,
yeah.
um, you know, the opportunities that we have right now are incredible. Never at this point, never in history have we had the opportunities that we have right now.
And this
So
is
you can
great.
find what you love and find a way to make money at it. It really doesn't matter what it is. It can be the most bizarre, random, weird thing in the world. Like, you can find a way to make money at it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who follow the money and not really follow their passion, right? And
Yes.
I think you
Yes.
did that early on, and so did I, right? Where
Yes.
until you find a point in your life where you kind of are happier, genuinely happy, helping others,
Yeah.
and doing the right thing and connecting with the right people.
Yeah.
That's when you kind of realize like there's an epiphany in your
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, and you know, this is a common problem that I actually see, not just in, you know, we're talking on a personal level right now, but I actually see it in this problem in businesses. I see it in people starting affiliate websites, and often in SEOs, that they're so focused on the money they can't see the woods for the trees, and they often don't end up making any money. They just burn a load of resources and get frustrated. It's a common mistake, and you know, you often see it in the quality of content that people produce. You know, which gives a bad impression of the business and everything else. So yeah, I mean, it might sound cheesy, but find what you love in life and find a way to make money at it. That's, in my opinion, the secret of life.
Oh yeah, definitely. So throughout your career, obviously, you've pivoted a couple times, right? From the corporate world, from the affiliate world to.
Yeah.
Did you have other side hustles, or was it really just the affiliate sites that you kind of monetized on?
So when I was in the corporate world, I was building affiliate sites on
Okay.
the side. So for me, taking an exit from the corporate world into my own thing, there wasn't any risk, you know. I had people were headhunting me all the time, so I knew I could always get a job. My affiliate sites were making 3 times as much money as I was earning in what was a very well-paid job. So for me, taking that it was almost logical to take that step, you know. It wasn't really yeah, I guess it was a pivotal thing, yeah, because I decided to walk away from the corporate world. Funnily, at that moment when I walked away from the corporate world, many people in my life told me I was an idiot and I was being stupid at such a young age to walk away from such a great opportunity and high-paying job. Those same people right now love to tell me how lucky I am. I'm like, yeah.
So there's a lot of people that will say things, right? And then regret it, and they want to get back to your life, right? Like they want.
Well, it's. I always think if someone tells you how lucky you are, that's just a justification for
their own good,
their own failures. You know, like there's no luck about it. As busting 80, 90-hour weeks, you know?
Of course. As an entrepreneur,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what it is.
There's literally zero luck involved. All there is massive action and hard work, and that eventually turns into what other people call luck.
Yeah.
But it was funny to see that people tell me I'm an idiot for leaving such a high-paying job, blah blah blah, and now they see the lifestyle now and they say I'm lucky. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, we'll go with that. I'm lucky.
So what is your main, like you run an agency, you have your own blogs and you have your own affiliate sites.
Yeah.
What is your main business? Is there one or is it
my main business is connecting people's problems to solutions in whatever niche that is. That's what I do, whether we're doing it from the agency perspective, whether we're doing it from my SEO blog perspective, and I'm helping people with, you know, basic SEO questions or even advanced ones. All of my sites that are based in movements are often based on solving problems and products and services. So everything's based around that. Everything's based around elevating other people
and helping others. Yeah. And that's why I love the fact that you're on the show, because when you are running a small business or any kind of business, there has to be more and greater meaning to why you're running a business. There has to be a greater purpose. There has to be a why, right? And for you to figure that out, you may, you know, start your business wanting this certain why, and then you'll kind of realize and change it over the years, right? Just like your life, your lifestyle, your habits, everything changes, and you have to be nimble as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And it's kind of like a GPS, right? You set your goal where you want to go. It'll tell you roughly what route, and you've probably planned this in your business plan, how I'm going to hit that goal. But you get halfway up the street, there's a car accident, the road's blocked, and the GPS takes you a different route. You still end up at the same goal. You just went a different route than planned. And that's how I look at it. Like I don't worry about how I'm going to get to where I'm going to get to. I just decide I'm going to get there, and we see which way that takes us.
Yeah, you know? Definitely. So in terms of you know, challenges over the years, were there anything that kind of prevented you from moving ahead? Like, was there any pivotal point or anything that kind of inspired you to kind of do what you're doing today?
I think what made a big pivotal point for me was learning how to properly manage staff, create business processes, manage all of that, make sure processes are up to date, and that was a skill that I didn't really have. Even though, you know, I knew I needed to do it, and it wasn't that challenging. I mean, all you're doing is, when you're writing a process, is a how to do a task, right? It's pretty easy to do. But if you're starting right now and you've got 0 processes written, 0 staff employed, it's quite an overwhelming experience to go through. It's certainly a lot of work, but the payoffs of it are incredible. For example, if I wanted to set up an outreach campaign before, it'd take me around 6, 7, 8 hours to set it up and manage it, the replies, and remember to send the follow-up emails and all the rest of it. Now it's a 20-second job. I just create a card in Trello and someone does it. So that was learning that skill and how to structure people, how to write processes, and that kind of thing was, you know, one of the biggest obstacles I overcame that allowed me to progress to the next level. If I hadn't have done that, I'd probably have significantly more gray hair.
But the challenge is, as a small business owner, right? At the beginning, you're trying to do everything yourself, and you're trying to learn as much as you can as well, right? The sooner you realize what you're good at and focus on it, and the sooner you hire people that are good at things that you are not good at, and then you refine and become more of a leader and become more of an advocate, because teamwork, motivating your staff and employees, incentivizing them, it's another skill set altogether, right? And as long as you're enjoying the process, because as a small business owner, you know, you come to a time where you can't do everything. Like time is scarcity. Like you're just restricted on time. You can't do what 10 other people can do on your team, right? And you're not going to be doing as well as others that they've been doing it for 20 years. You can't just pick it up and try to figure out how to do it in a couple hours or days or weeks, right?
No. And, you know, when you start in a small business, you have got to do everything because you do need to know your entire business inside and out, top to bottom, back to front.
Yes.
And once you've got that, then you can sort of say, right, well, I enjoy doing these things, but I really dislike these things. And then you can write detailed step-by-step processes for those things and then go out and hire people to take care of that. What I tend to find happens, though, is business owners just hire someone and say, do that. And then the person does it and the business owner's, that's not how I wanted it done. And like, well, did you write a process to tell them how it should be done? No. Well, you know, for example, the writing guidelines on my blog, we even have like, if you're making a list of things, 1, 2, 3, do you use #1, #2, or do you use 1, 2, you know, we even have that defined. It's like a 15-page document. So, but that means that every time I hand the work off to someone, it comes back exactly as I want it. And I'm not spending, you know, when I first started hiring people, I was spending more time checking and reviewing work than it would have taken me to do the work myself. But that was because of my lack of management, my lack of, it was, you know, I always look at it, if your staff member does something wrong, it's because you didn't train them right. Not because they did it wrong, it's because you did it wrong. So that's, you know, all of those lessons I've learned over the way have now helped me to scale business.
No, it's great because these
not work 90-hour weeks anymore.
These are all learning barriers that I had to overcome over the years as well. And any entrepreneur that's looking at scaling and growing their business, you must have processes, systems in place, right?
And you know,
with that values, right?
That was overwhelming for me. You've got to have processes and systems. I'm like, yeah, but what is that? What does that mean? Well, let me tell you what it means for me. Every task in the business we have a written process for, and then we have a master spreadsheet that has a list of every single process. It has the date that it was last updated. Then we have a formula that calculates 6 months from now the date it should next be updated, and then who owns a process. So for example, I'll usually write the first process. It's just a Word or Google Doc, nothing special. This is the process, this is why it exists, these are the tools you need, this is how you do it. And then after I've written it, I'll hand it over to a staff member. They'll go through it and they'll say, well, you know, it'd be better if we just change this, and we make some little edits, and then it gets adopted as the final process and it goes into the spreadsheet. Every 6 months, whoever owns a process, whoever's doing the actual work every day, is also the person who's responsible to update that process. So we've just got a spreadsheet and it just says, update due, here's who owns it, here's the link to the process, and they just update it, and it manages itself then, you know, like once you make the employee responsible for updating the process, it just manages itself. So it you know, what is processes and systems, Google Docs and Google Sheets, that's it really.
You can use whatever things is best for your own purpose, right? And it's suitable. There's a lot of gadgets and new software, and they sell you on these little, you know, cool little widgets and whatnot. You don't really need that, right? Like you can use Excel and Word and whatever's easy for you. Just go with it. And then if things you think you could refine things and look at different things that maybe you want to integrate with APIs and stuff, that's when you look further, right? Just simplify it and get used to the systems, right?
You know, I like Google Docs because if a staff member updates a process, it's instantly available to me. It's not in a Word file that they've got to attach to an email and then send to me, and then we've got like 5 different versions of the same process because we haven't named it right, or, you know, I did all that. But I think 99.9% of businesses, Google Docs, Google Sheets, that's all you need to create processes and manage stuff.
In collaboration, right, as a team. So it's different because me and you, we run agencies. So we know how important it is to collaborate with all team members, from content dev to whatever it may be. Right? So in terms of like some of the things that you kind of can give advice on, like people that are just starting off in terms of a small business, say they're just starting off their service type kind of business, right? What would you advise them to do? Because I know we talked about like follow your dream, but have a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Don't do it just for money. Is there any other things that you would kind of advise small business owners to really do? Because there's a lot of videos out there, but this is coming from a successful business owner. It's a little bit different, right?
Look, there's no substitute for hard work. There is no substitute for waking up at 6 in the morning, starting work at 6:05, sitting your ass there till 12, taking a 15-minute lunch, starting work again at 12:15, working till 6, 15-minute break for some food, and then working through till 2 in the morning. Rinse and repeat, 4 hours sleep. There's absolutely no substitute for hard, grueling work, especially if you're a small business owner.
And when you're starting off, you need to do all that because you don't have resources to fund things. So you have time, but no resources, right? And until you start freeing up time where then you have a personal life and you can exercise and eat well and all these other things, right? But when you're just starting off, like I put in 16, 18 hours for years at the beginning, right? And that's where, you know, what it resulted in. Now I'm able to buy back some of my time.
Exactly. Buy back your time. That's a great way to look at it. And you know, people are scared of hard work. I find lots of people. Oh, how can I do what you do? And then I tell them, they're like, yeah, no.
Well, you think about what's happening in the world. Everyone's looking for hacks. There's always quick ways, shortcuts, right? Well, in reality, as a business owner, there's nothing that, you know, equates to hard work. Like you're not going to get the return as hacks. Like shortcuts in life, there's no shortcuts, right?
No, not at all. Like I said, there's no substitute for hard work. You can't avoid that, although that's what everyone's trying to avoid. But well, it creates opportunity. You know, everyone else is looking for shortcuts and hacks. That means there's huge room for someone to just go straight down the middle, hard work, honest, to the point, elevate people, help connect people's problems to solutions, and the money just comes on its own. You know, so that. Yeah, you just can't beat it. If you know, when I had a full-time job, you know, I was doing 40 hours in my full-time job and 50 hours part-time in my own stuff.
But that's a side hustle that allowed you to branch off to do what you really love and help more people, right?
Of course,
So I always look at like athletes, for instance. Did you think like Michael Jordan just became Michael Jordan?
No.
20 years before that, or 15 years. He probably started when he was 3 years old, right? All those years of practice, hard work, training, eating well, waking up, grinding it out. That's what an entrepreneur is like.
And you know, look at Cristiano Ronaldo, the world's most famous soccer player. Every year he's won Player of the Year. Nobody can touch him. Well, maybe Messi, but no one can touch him. And he's still the first person at training every morning and the last person to leave at night, despite being world elite status, being number one. And you tend to find as people get more successful, they get more lazy with those kind of things. But I like him as a great example, as someone that's maintained hard work irrespective of his success.
And that's so important now that you're owner and I'm an owner. I always lead by example. So I preach of wake up at 5 a.m., do what I need to do, and get to work before everyone else does, and respond and be proactive and do things, and probably be the last to leave as well. People don't understand that in terms of running a business.
So some bosses are like, oh, it's 3 p.m., gotta go. You know, everyone's like, yeah.
Well, because people will practice what you do, right? And they'll look up to you and they'll kind of replicate. Well, you're gone, I'm going to leave too. Right? So how successful of a business will you be when people leave?
It's like, oh, he's gone now. I can just work a bit slower. Excellent.
Exactly.
You know, like you know.
Exactly.
Now, I don't have that problem with an office. All my team's remote and distributed. You know, but every morning, hello to each other. You know, we all know we're online. We're all solving each other's problems in the morning.
That's awesome.
You know, yeah, I'm here in Costa Rica. My number two's in Vietnam. We've got a 12-hour time difference.
Oh,
No,
no way.
4-hour time
I
difference.
just went to Vietnam last year,
Oh
actually.
yeah, yeah.
So I went to Saigon and Nha Trang
Okay, yeah.
by the coast. So I stayed there for a couple of days.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'll probably go check it out next year myself.
Oh,
Yeah,
you gotta enjoy life, right? Like
yeah,
if
of
you have the
course.
ability to travel, that's
Yeah,
one thing I always advise any staff or anyone that I talk to, right?
yeah. You got to enjoy the life, and that's why it's important as a small business owner to make sure that you love what you're doing. Because trust me, 90-hour work weeks are not 90-hour work weeks when you love what you're doing. There's 90 hours of
Exactly.
fun.
So
So
that's one thing that I always have been hearing from entrepreneurs. It doesn't feel like work.
yeah,
You love what you do and you're passionate and you have a
yeah,
purpose.
yeah.
It's like you're going to work, but you're not really working. You're having fun and playing, right?
Yeah, because when you got a job, you are working. When
Yes.
you're a business owner, you're building something, and it's very
Yeah.
different. Very
Yeah.
different mentality to it.
And there's only so many people that are successful entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah,
So you're already in that elite class of becoming an entrepreneur or being a business owner, right? So yeah, it's a great feeling when you're able to impact and help others, right?
yeah, and you know that's the entire reason I started my SEO blog was I was like seeing lots of different questions on forums and lots of misadvice and things, and I'm like, well, why don't I just record what I'm doing? Why don't I just press record, do it, and then put it on YouTube? And it was a great success. I was just looking at what problems people have. I'm like, oh, well, I do that every day. I press record, upload a video. Hey, here's how you do that. And I see another problem. Oh, I'm doing that every day as well. All right, hit record. Here's how you do that. And it just built from there. But
It was great.
it was all in the basis of how can I connect a person's problem to a solution. And everything went crazy after that.
And you're able to leverage technology today. So
Yeah,
that YouTube channel or even social media, like the solutions we have today,
yeah,
technology, you
yeah.
can do things that like was not even imaginable 10 years ago.
Yeah. Like I say, I started before YouTube. The first website I built was so that in competitive gaming, the very dawn of esports, people could share their videos, their highlight videos. Now, to record those videos, we had to do video out from the PC to a VHS player, and we press record on the VHS. And then after we finished, we'd connect the VHS to video in on the computer, press play on the VHS, press record on the computer, then wait for like 4 hours, for the VHS to play and the computer record it. And then we wanted to share those videos. Well, we didn't have YouTube. So I built a website that allowed people to share those videos. Unfortunately, at that age, I lacked the vision to just build YouTube.
But you're able to leverage YouTube and
Yeah. Now it's come full circle, and but back then we just didn't have the technology. We didn't have WordPress.
yeah,
You wanted to build a website, you were getting in Notepad and
CMS
you
is
put
so
it in
easy.
code. We didn't have CSS. We
Yeah,
didn't have
totally.
divs, like we were doing it all in tables, like old school in Notepad. So right now the barrier to entry to starting any business, and certainly on the digital side, is next to zero in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing a lot of business owners who are thinking or have started is they think it's easy because of technology.
Yeah,
However, nothing's easy in terms of like your motivation and your commitment and your drive. You mentioned this where you have to go out and do the work.
yeah,
That's what people are afraid of doing. That's why
yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah,
successful.
yeah.
All these videos and hacks tell you they're able to do a 4-hour work week.
Yeah,
You've
it's
heard
bullshit.
that, right?
Yeah.
Like, come on. As a business owner, even today, when was the last time you did a 4-hour work week?
No. Even on my week off, I don't do a 4-hour work week.
Exactly, right? So, they get bought by a new book or a new, whatever hack,
Quick.
right?
Yeah.
And then really there's no shortcut in life, right? You have to just go on living it and making it as meaningful and purposeful as you want it to be, right?
Yeah, of course.
So No, that's good. In terms of what drives you today, so I know you're a recent father, so things have kind of changed for you. So what kind of motivates you to do what you're doing, and what drives you? Like, what's your purpose today versus how it was when you first started?
I'm still just collecting all the coins, playing Super Mario. You know, like that's what I was doing when I was like 5. It's what I'm doing now. I'm just playing Super Mario, getting all the coins and eating the mushrooms and beep 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 beep. You know, to me, I'm still just playing video games. It, it, I don't have a drive or a motivation because I'm just doing what I like doing. I don't. There's never a point where I feel demotivated, you know. So, and that comes back to just doing what you love doing, right? Like, you don't need motivation if you love it. Like, most people don't need much motivation to drink a beer or, you know, go to a restaurant or cinema or whatever it is. Same thing for me.
So it seems like you're in a really good place. You're happy, you're passionate, you love what you do, and really working isn't really working for you. Right?
No, it's I'm just doing what I like doing, and I get to do it every day.
Yeah, in terms of like pillars right now. So right now you obviously have a family, a young family.
Yeah.
You have your business, and what about community? Is that a big part of your life right now? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's why I love Costa Rica. People are just friendly. Like, people just come up to your street, hey man, how you doing? And they start talking to you. You know, I'm from Manchester. I'm like, whoa, where's my phone? Where's my wallet? Am I gonna get stabbed? Like, you know, why are you talking to me? Don't
and
kill
they know
me.
you by first name, right? Like,
But people are just nice and open and friendly here. And like I said, people here don't have very much, but what they do have is big beaming smiles all day, every day, which is a stark contrast to the UK and even the US, where people are just miserable. Like,
but I'm sure there are people, but you know, there are a group of people that are very happy-go-lucky kind of people.
Yes, but it's a very
hard to
small
find.
minority.
A small amount.
Yeah.
Versus
Most people
like
are too
all
caught
of
in the
the
race, you know. Yeah.
Because people are so bought by commercialism or marketing, right? So it's the newest, biggest, best thing, right? iPhone launch or whatever, a new phone, new TV, everything always wants something bigger, new car, right?
And that doesn't exist in Costa Rica. There isn't consumerism. There isn't capitalism. People are just happy.
And I think you'll realize, like, your son is young. I just look at him growing, and I'm like, he's so young and playful, and he's not, you know, jaded by what's out there. That's how you want to live your life. Because and when you bring that back to how you were when you were young, and being a parent as a young, you know, son of mine, like, I look at him, he's always so happy, playful, and just, you know, he has no care.
No idea.
No idea.
And that's very much how the people are here.
Yes.
It's very frustrating when you're trying to get something done.
They love to talk, I'm sure.
That's it. You know, if the guy says he'll be there in 15 minutes, that means he'll be there sometime this week. You know, that's just how it is. And they don't care. They just roll up. Hey man, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Like, and everyone's relaxed like that. You imagine if you did that in the States or in Canada, like people get shot, you know.
No, it's true.
And you know what's a really great reflection of Costa Rica and the people here, and this might shock many people listening, they have no military. There is no army.
Wow.
And like, you know, in 2019, they haven't got a military. They haven't had a military for 60 years.
So maybe they have no, you know, the whole economy and the political system, they are just happy people. Maybe they don't have any enemies, right? There's no need. Very similar to Canada. Like, we're peacekeepers here, right?
Yeah.
Army, because we're kind of like, US is south, but we are just good people. We're just happier too, right?
Yeah. In general, we have a lot of Canadians here. The snowbirds come down, and Americans, and there's a stark difference in the personalities. You do feel that. Yeah.
And it's good that you're able to travel and learn about different cultures, because that's one thing that entrepreneurs or business people have the ability to do, right? Open yourself up to what else is out there.
Yeah. You know, and for me, it was, you know, I took like a 10-day trip to Costa Rica, and everything I knew about everything in my life, my culture, my language, my everything, I just didn't feel comfortable with it anymore. Right. You know, and that's had I not traveled, I'd never have known that. I'd still be in England, miserable and in the cold and the rain and people drinking and fighting and everything.
Yeah. No, and that's what opened up, like even myself in university. I went to England and then I was able to travel Europe, and I go to Asia now. I go all over, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just opening yourself up to what's out there, right?
Yeah.
And not only just living in front of a computer, but actually meeting real people,
Yes.
going out there and experiencing life and experiences, right?
Yeah,
and
from the different
building strong relationships from other people that you may never have already met, right? Because they don't have technology. Like, you know, some people don't even have a cell phone in different countries, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. Yeah, completely true. And you know, that changes it, everything. I mean, here, right, if you want to order something online, you have to go on the website, you place the order, you print a form off, you walk to the bank, you pay the cash into their account after queuing for like 30 minutes because everyone's relaxed and no one cares. And then you get a receipt, then you got to take a photo of the receipt, then you got to send them an email saying that you put the cash in, then they reply saying, yeah, we confirm we've got the cash, then they package it up and then they put it on the public bus system.
Wow.
And then it come whatever bus stops near your house, that's where you go collect your package.
So that's
e-commerce.
Coming from England, where, you know, it was kind of instant. All that process was already completed. But again,
but that's why people are happy.
Yes. Everyone's employed.
About product, consumerism, buying this, buying that, buying that. They don't care. They'd much rather just be sat around a table with a family or on the beach relaxing or like
they're living.
Spend money on a product, which means then I've got to go work more, which means I'm taking more time away from things I care about.
So it's a vicious cycle.
They think about it. There's not even a cycle. They just don't do it. They're just like, I'm not taking part of that. I'm just going to enjoy what I do. I'm going to do whatever work I need to make sure my family can get by, and I'm going to enjoy life.
And they probably live longer as well.
Yeah.
No
Costa Rica has,
you know.
Yeah, Costa Rica has many blue zones where people regularly live to 100, 105, 110. It's normal.
So it's like weather, food, just relationships. Right?
Weather. There's many documentaries if you search for the blue zone in Costa Rica as to why. Science can't give you an answer. But it is generally thought the combination of, first of all, just being happy. Secondly, being with people that are happy as well. Society. Important, because if you're with someone that's not happy, it actually pulls you down. Then a combination of the food, fresh fish, fruits, you know, they're not eating any processed crap. They're not going out to restaurants to eat, you know. All the food's cooked at home with love and care, not with profitability in mind. You know, so all of those things together, you know, the average person here doesn't own a car. Most people use push bikes. So, you know, all of those things together really, you know, and you see it in the faces of the people. You just got to look at the faces for a split second and you see it. Yeah.
Well, you think about like Western cultures, right? Like technology, software, like you think all these advancements are supposed to help the human race and get better, get smarter, but there's more disease than ever. There's more,
I was going to say all of those things.
Depression than ever. There's more gun violence than ever. There's more, you know, all these things. Is it really better? Like, you know, so I'm so glad that you're on our show, because this gives you a perspective of like, as long as you're happy doing what you love, you can do it anywhere in today's age. Right?
More or less.
And you can be connected anywhere today.
I mean, one of my friends here runs a mermaid school. She always wanted to be a mermaid, so she bought a tail. She learned to free dive. She can dive to 60 meters on a single breath, and then she opened a mermaid school. I mean, that's
awesome.
You know, you really got no excuse not to be doing what you love in this time of this.
And there shouldn't be any barriers anymore, right? Like you got to just follow your passion and just do it, right?
Often the only barriers are barriers that you've created. You know, I got a friend who's hardworking. He does everything to a high standard. He loves digital marketing. He's got, you know, as a business owner, I look at him and he has all of the traits that a successful business owner needs. But his barrier is, oh, but a job secure. Like I know exactly how much
I got
money I'm going to make
benefits.
every month.
Yeah.
And well, in the UK, we don't need to worry about benefits. We've got free healthcare, and as you have in Canada, you know. His barrier to entry is job security. Well, he's been made redundant 3 times in 5 years. So like his barrier of job security doesn't have any rooting in the logical reality.
Yeah.
But it's this fear that he has that he, you know, and he can't get past that.
Yeah.
So that barrier is completely self-created and has absolutely no root in logic or the real world.
Maybe you should advise them to do what you did, right? Like,
oh, trust me,
on the side.
I've led the horse to water many times. I had a business idea, a plan. I put it in front of him. I said, oh, look, I'm going to do the funding. I'm going to set it all up. I'm going to do everything. All you've got to do is process the orders, and just do it in your part time. Well. About a year and a half later, about a year and a half later, I went to a conference and a guy stood on stage and told us how he'd made $1 million that year doing pretty much what I'd laid out. And I was like, so, you know, even at that point, the barrier, the fear was so strong, even when there was zero risk and all he had to do was process orders in part time. It was terrifying.
It was on the mind though, right? Like entrepreneurs are different, right?
Yeah.
They're risk takers, but they're also, you know, you got to be calculating.
Yeah, you got to be calculated. Yeah.
Especially if you have a family, you have other, you know, things that you need to take care of, right?
Yeah, of course. So,
depending on where you're at, and I always think timing is important because when you're younger, you're able to take risks. When you get a little bit more mature and you have family and other obligations, your parents get older. Maybe those risks that you were very averse to, it's kind of, you can't do them as you.
Yeah. And everyone's in a different position, but you know what trumps all of those issues? Hard work. Yes. like just sleep less. Like that's it. Just watch TV less, go on Facebook less. Like in my case, I went to the toilet less. The only time I'd move from my desk was when I was trembling out of hunger, in pain because I needed to do number 2. You know, like okay, I gotta go, and you know, I'm like, whoa, I actually can't walk to my desk because it might come out. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying you should do that to yourself. I probably did significant damage to my health when I was younger. But you know, if you've got all of those risks and all those other things you got to take care of, the money is obviously always is a thing that you got to build, and the only way you can build a side income is with hard work, and then that gives you the security to take that leap. I was lucky when I did the leap. I didn't have family to take care of. I just had me, and on top of that, I'd already built the income outside of the work, so I actually tripled my pay when I quit my job.
So a lot of people, so it all depends on where you're at in life, who you know, surround yourself with. If you have people, obligations, like, you know, it all depends, right, on how you were raised.
But there's always a way, one way or another. If you want it, you just decide you want it, and then just go and do it. Like one way or another, there is a way to do it. You know, I had my father always had solutions for problems. Right. My mother always had problems for solutions. She'd be like, how can I do that? And he'd tell her, and she's like, yeah, but then there's that. And he'd tell her, yeah, but then there's that. You know, like there was always, no matter what solution he gave, there's always a new problem. So I've had it from both sides in my life, and that's helped me to you know, to overcome a lot of the fears that you sometimes have. Even as an entrepreneur, when you're exploring a new idea, and I'm going to launch this, and well, probably going to go wrong, but there's only one way to find out, you know. I don't.
As long as you're a risk taker, like as an entrepreneur, you're going to make mistakes. As long as you're able to learn from it and don't get down on those mistakes, and give up. And that's another thing. A lot of entrepreneurs give up the first time they make a mistake. Or they lose money, or they lose a big client. Well, you started for this reason. You want to do it for the rest of your life. You can't just have let one setback overtake you, right?
If you're not making mistakes, you're not working hard enough.
Exactly. or you're not learning, or you're not gonna be successful, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're all here right now. It's essentially, we're talking right now because, you know, there's been a sequence of mistakes which have led to a sequence of successes.
Exactly.
You know, and the mistakes come a lot quicker and faster than the successes do. So you just got to learn to just be like, oh bugger, oh whatever, no, never mind. All right,
Let's
let's get
move
on with
on.
it. Yeah, like, you know.
And don't let it impact you. And that's the other thing. People get so down and they
Yeah,
think
don't
it's
take it
gonna ruin their
personal.
life,
Like,
or they let others dictate. Like that mistake, they're afraid that others will kind of look down at them. Who
yeah,
cares what other people think, right?
yeah, and the reason that we all have that fear in many across this fear exists across many cultures, many countries, many like so. Some people think it, you know, it's just a natural human survival instinct. I actually think it's because of school. School teaches you that failure is bad. It's not an option. You've got your test that you cannot fail. Do not fail a test.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like they instill fear of failure from your first day at school to the day you leave. And during those development ages, I actually think that's a very damaging lesson for schools to be given, because it just stops people experiment. It stops people taking the step, you know, to the point of my friend that I explained. Once you break that barrier, it's very liberating. It's very freeing. Once you realize, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck everything up. I'm gonna make as many mistakes as possible. Like, this is great. It's empowering, you know. But
No,
I think it's a consequence of our school.
Yeah, schooling, as well as even when you work at a big job, right? And
Yeah.
there's a manager or a superior and they frown upon, these are the things you need to do. And if you don't do it well and there's deadlines, well, you're going to get in trouble, or you're going to get losing.
Yeah.
And that's the whole fear, right?
And it's interesting the way I filter those people out. I don't want, if you've got fear out, if you're scared of telling me I'm an idiot, I don't want you to work for me. So in the application forms, when people I put mistakes in there, and in the very last box it says, is there anything you'd like to tell me? And that tests them on a number of ways. First, have they seen the mistakes? Secondly, have they got the balls to tell me?
Honesty, right?
If you haven't seen the mistakes, you're not getting a job. If you haven't had the balls to tell me about them, not getting the job. It doesn't matter what qualification, experience, or anything you've got. You got to be able to
own up to it.
You know, I'm not an owner. I'm not a business owner. I'm just doing what I love doing, and you're going to help me do what I love doing, and that's it. Like, you're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. If we're not making mistakes, we're not working hard enough. But we've got to have that. We can't have that fear of saying, "Hey, you fucked that up." You know, you got to have that. And you know, I put that actually in the application form before I've even ever spoken to anyone. So it's important that you get past that fear, and also don't be scared to be honest with people. Not honest like, oh, you know, fuck you, you're an idiot, like, you know, abusive, but honest like, hey, I saw you made this mistake, and, you know, just straight up. There's not enough of that in the world, I don't think.
There's not a lot of people that know how to deal with honesty too. Like, they're scared that they're gonna be looked down at, right? Like, like vulnerability is so critical. Like, being vulnerable and letting people know and understand where you're coming from, right? And
mistakes for me are a point of growth, not a point of punishment. Whereas in school, it's a point of punishment. And I think we carry that with us.
Well, I know you have to run. I really appreciate. I know you know, we kind of went overboard in terms of, but I really want to thank you. And if you're ever in Toronto or here in Canada, ring me up. We'll get together.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, I've never been to Canada.
Drink, or we'll go to a basketball game. I'm a big Raptors fan, so
nice.
So whatever it is, we'll hook up. I went to Costa Rica once. I did. What's it? Some, you know, the zip lining. And they have some really good zip lining.
You might have been to Monteverde, La Fortuna, Arenal.
One of those. There were like 10 zip lines, and I'm afraid of heights, but that was fears that I had to overcome because my wife kind of like, you got to do it. We're here. We traveled all the way here. So
Yeah, you got to do it now. Yeah. Well, if your wife's doing it, you got to do it, right?
I
You're like,
got
you
it.
can't get out of that one.
I didn't want to sleep on the floor that night. So, but I really want to thank you. So how do listeners get a hold of you, or where can they find you?
The best way would be my blog, matthewwoodward.co.uk. Look, I exist to help people solve their problems. That's what I'm here for. If you're a small business owner and you're looking to increase your traction in search visibility, you haven't got much budget because you're a small business owner, but you have got time, I highly recommend you take a look. And if you go on my homepage, and you'll find something about website speed, and I highly suggest you just step through that tutorial. There's 6 free steps that will tell you, first of all, how to get a benchmark of where you are right now, and then give you a few things that you can very easily integrate in a couple of hours of next to zero cost, and then how to take a benchmark after. The reason that's important is that Google now, it's a confirmed ranking factor in Google search results is how fast your site is. And one of the common problems we see from our clients is their sites are really slow. So this is a great way for you, without any investment, with just a little bit of your time, to increase the performance of your website. That's going to help you gain more traction in the search results, and your visitors will love you for it as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's actually a tool by Google, and it's linked in my post, where you can write in, you know, how many visitors you get, how much money it makes, and how fast your site loads, and it will tell you. Like in my case, making my website, my blog 1 second faster, attributed an extra $30,000 of profit that year, just by making it 1 second faster.
There's calculations that tell you if you're able to increase speed, how much more revenue you can generate based on the traffic that you're getting.
Yeah. It's a Google tool. You just put like average monthly visitors, your conversion rate, average order value, and it'll say, look, if you improve by 1 second, this is what you're going to make. And getting that 1 second gain is literally a couple of hours work without any investment at all. So if you hit the homepage of my blog, matthewwoodward.co.uk, find the SEO section, and within there the site speed, that is in fact, you can find it on the homepage. Just scroll down. That's like a really great tutorial that's going to give you a big win without much investment in time or money. And it's great for small business owners, especially if you're not technical. Anyone can do it. Trust me, anyone can do it. If you get stuck, leave a comment on the article. I will answer personally and help you. That's the best way to get hold of me. You could also look at my YouTube channel. We're in I literally physically built an extension on my house and then built a video studio in it. I assure you that the YouTube videos will be the best SEO and digital marketing content you've ever seen, better than anything you've ever paid for. And social media, I'm not so hot. I'm not very social. If you reach out to me on Facebook or Twitter, like thousands of people are spamming me every day. I'm probably not going to see it. So the best way, if you actually want to contact me directly, go on the blog, hit the contact form, or go on the blog and leave a comment on the article that with whatever your problem is, and I'll be there.
Oh, that's great. Well, there are great SEO people in this industry, and Matthew is one of them. So I really want to thank you, because you do share a lot of knowledge and your expertise.
Too much.
You have a great blog, and the whole purpose of why you're doing this is to help solve a problem. There's a need. You're here to resolve that issue and help people overcome that problem. That's why he's still in business, and he loves what he's doing. So I really want to thank you. I think we've got to know Matthew a little bit more on this podcast, and I really want to thank you for giving up some of your valuable time to be on our show.
No problem. It's been great to share. And normally if I do a podcast, it's scripted and we send notes before, and we're going to talk about this and bullet points, and we're going to touch on this and this. We didn't have that here. We just talked, and that was great. That's a very different experience from the normal podcast. So thank you very much for that.
Not a problem, Matthew. Thanks a lot.
No worries.